Hello and welcome aboard BDE Travels in our Camino De Santiago. In our previous episode, we left the town of Hospital de Órbigo on our way to Astorga. We crossed the town of Santibáñez de Valdeiglesias. We walked together with Nelson and met one of the locals. We saw something strange before reaching the town of San Justo de la Vega. And after a long day, we reached the town of Astorga. In today's episode, we'll walk by the Roman ruins of Astorga. We will visit the Gaudí Palace, enjoy the street art. We visited a local pastry shop, met another peregrino. I went shopping for a new backpack. We did a walk-in tour at the chocolate museum. Finally, we met one commonly known as Bigotes, the owner of Casa Tepas. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel as we continue here on BDE Travels in our Camino de Santiago. These are the Roman ruins of Astorga. It was a settlement of the 10th Legion of the Roman Empire. The city was founded in the year 14 BC. There are several archaeological remains, including those of the original military camp, the sewers, 2 baths from the late 1st and 3rd century. If you want to see these archaeological findings, you must reserve in advance. They offer a very interesting guided tour and lasts approximately 2 hours. We left the Roman ruins and decided to visit the wonderful Gaudí Palace. The Episcopal Palace is a building that was designed by the Catalan Spanish architect Antonio Gaudí. It is located in Astorga in the Way of Santiago. The actual building was built from 1889 to 1913. So we are at the Gaudí Palace and the girls are back there enjoying. Donna, what are you doing, Donna?
Walking.
Of course. What's the building?
Because it's a really pretty place.
You like it?
Yeah.
I like it. It's nice. I like this town. The Gaudí Palace is a museum called Museo de los Caminos, Museum of the Ways. It is usually open from September to March, from the hours of 11 to 2 and 4 to 8, and then from March to September from the hours of 10 to 2 and 4 to 8. The building has 4 floors. In the main floor, there's an impressive chapel with beautiful stained glass windows. The basement houses several archaeological findings. Many date from the Roman era. Half an hour before the closure time to sell tickets closed. The price is approximately €2.50. We left the Gaudí Palace and walked to the Cathedral of Astorga. This is a Roman Catholic church, and it was declared a national monument in 1931. The edifice was begun in 1471. The construction lasted until the 18th century. Thus, to its original Gothic-style appearance were added elements from later styles, such as Neoclassic, Baroque, and the facade with the Renaissance portico. The interior houses numerous artworks, such as the Flemish retablo of St. Michael and the large altar by Gaspar Becerra, considered a masterwork of the Spanish Renaissance sculpture. The church also houses a museum of religious artifacts. We left the church and began to walk around the beautiful town. A few blocks down the road, I met a wonderful peregrino. Not much of a talker, but he did say he enjoyed the Gaudí Palace. We wanted to taste some of the local treats, so we stopped at one of the local pastries.
La mantecada se vende por unidad, 50 céntimos cada uno. Luego está el hojaldre, que es un hojaldre básico laminado, bañadito en almíbar dulce. También se vende por unidad.
Pues.
Eso es lo típico de Astorga.
Eso es lo típico de Astorga. Y el chocolate, ¿no?
Por el chocolate, sí.
Pues quiero de aquello y de esto para probarlo, porque nunca he probado. ¿Qué es esto? Son merengue.
¿Quiere por pieza o una pieza de cada?
¿Tú quieres? Pues, ¿qué me recomienda para...?
Bueno, pues ya si es para 3, por ejemplo, en mantecada ya cogería el paquete, porque la unidad es de 50 céntimos, 3 es 1,50, el paquete de 6 es 1,90.
Pues cogemos uno de esos.
El hojaldre ya es diferente, puede ser a 50, nosotros dan 3. 3 sería 1,50 y la caja de 8, 2,90. Pero este no es un poquito más.
Pero los pruebo entonces así individual.
Vale, 3.
3. No, pero quizás Amaris no. No tiene nada que sea procesado en cacahuete o en inglés se llama cross contaminant. All right, we are in Astorga and I'm going to try the hojaldre. It's a pastry and it tastes like honey. It's a sweet pastry. I like it. So you gotta get it here in Astorga. It's called hojaldre.
Yeah, but did you tell them where it's located?
Yeah, right now, let me see. Amaris is gonna tell you how to find it, how to get it, and all that stuff. So here she goes.
So the Camino comes from that way, but you're actually gonna get it on that corner right there, in the same way the Camino comes, and then you're gonna come along that way to continue the Camino. And there's.
Yeah, but it's all next to the Gaudí Palace.
Oh yeah, okay. So you see this as you're walking by too, when the Camino's along this route. Oh, sorry, moving really fast. The Camino comes along this route. You see this building right here. My dad has expert on history. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. And then there's this big thing that looks really cool. I didn't hit the button.
Now I'm trying something that is called mantecadas. So apparently it's like a buttery
Cake.
cake.
That's what she said.
Is it moist or?
It's dry.
Yeah, it's dry.
Want
It's a
some
buttery
water?
cake, but they put sugar on top of it. That's another typical thing that you eat here in Astorga. So chocolate, hojaldre, and mantecada. 3 things you gotta have when you are in Astorga.
Located all in the same place.
After eating the pastries, we continue our walk towards the Museum of Chocolate. We noticed that there was a lot of art on the streets. Several murals depict the culture and the people of Astorga. Once again, as part of your visit to Astorga, you gotta come to the Museum of Chocolate, or the Chocolate Museum. It's called Museo del Chocolate Astorga. It's a small house right in the corner, one of the streets. Just ask for directions. It's real easy to make it here. So just to give you a hint on how to get to the chocolate museum, where that tow truck is going up there in the avenue, you're actually coming slightly above from the hill. To the right is the cathedral. So you'll be coming down the cathedral street, down this way. You're gonna come down. As you come down, be careful when you cross the street over here, and you come down this avenue. All the way down, and then right over here, right there, that's where the museum is. So once again, you leave the cathedral up there, and you actually going inside. You come down the avenue, come down to this corner, cross this street. Be careful because it's a little bit dangerous. Come down the avenue, and the museum is right there. If you want to visit the museum, remember that Mondays are closed. Sundays and holidays are open from 10:30 to 2. Make sure you bring your pilgrim's credential. They have a stamp there for you. Well, folks, we just finished touring the chocolate museum. At the end, they give you a piece of chocolate for you to try. And they got different chocolates from around the world. They give you a little bit of history, how the cacao bean, its process. And they have different burners, different sizes, different boxes. So, you know, it's not, once you've gone to Hershey Park and you've seen the tour of Hershey, well, this is kids' play compared to that. But nevertheless, if you haven't seen anything like this, you got to come and stop and take a look at it. You know, it's not that expensive. It's roughly €6 per person, and it'll take about 30 minutes for you to tour the whole thing. So stay with us. We're just wrapping it up here in Astorga with BDE Travels. We left the Chocolate Museum and approached our hotel for the night. Casa Tepas is a historic mansion that is owned by one of the descendants of the original owners. He can actually trace his roots back to the 1700s, and he was kind enough to give us a historical tour of the mansion. All right, just made it into the room. Very basic commodities. Really nice person, the owner. He's a descendant from the people that were owners of the house, and it's been up since 1710, I believe it was up. So, you know, it's a very rustic house. You know, nice shower and bathroom. Very comfortable. It has air conditioning, heat, but it's very classic in the way they do all the decorations and all that. So we are here. It's Posada de la Tepa. Very nice, very nice. I paid €70 for it, and it's a 4-star here in Astorga. A lot of history, We'll listen a little bit to the history with him. Y me dice que esta casa lleva con ustedes desde 1790. Wow.
Está puesto en el dintel de la puerta abajo, está puesto. Entonces el comedor lo hemos mantenido tal cual.
Qué interesante está esto. Mire para allá, increíble. No, pero ¿y este quién es?
Este también, este es el conde de Goyeneche era este.
Ah. ¿Y el de allá atrás?
Y este de aquí, pues este era el conde de Tepas.
por eso entonces se llama de Tepas, Casa de Tepas.
El título que tenemos en la familia ahora es Conde de Tepas.
Mm.
Que lo lleva mi hermano mayor.
Well, folks, from BDE Travels, we're coming up to the end of day, I believe it's 23 now. We're staying at Casa de Tepa. And Casa de Tepa's got a lot of history to it. It was built in 1790. And the owner right now can trace his roots all the way back to 1790. So many generations to go. He is giving me a little bit of background. Hopefully I'll find a way to put it in the video. And he's giving me some pointers and a lot of history that Astorga has, especially with this one. Their family comes from royal family, and he can actually trace back his lineage all the way back to 1700. So Casa Tepa, it's right in the middle of the Camino de Santiago. So when you're coming, you're actually coming from this direction going that way. So if you're going to be walking from here, you're going to be going down that way on that street. And right in front of it, we have Las Termas restaurant. I just ate there. And the typical food for this area, it's called a cocido. And a cocido is just a mixture of many meats. And they put it on a casserole with chicken peas. And then at the end, they give you a soup. It comes with dessert, wine, and water. So I highly recommend it. Very good food. I really enjoyed, especially the natilla. I really enjoyed the natilla here. It's about the best one I've had. It actually brought me back memories from my childhood in Puerto Rico. So I highly recommend it. So we're coming up to an end of day 23 here on BDE Travels. Hope to see you. Stay with us. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our video. I just saw Soraya going into the restaurant. And if you come into Astorga, make sure you pay them a visit. Once again, the restaurant is called Las Termas, and we're staying at Casa Tepas. So signing off for tonight on BDE Travels. We'll see you tomorrow.
In our next episode, we leave the town of Astorga on a very cold morning. We follow those signs until the next town. We go by the town of Santa Catalina de Somoza. We walk in a very windy road until reaching Rabanal del Camino. Then Anielis posts as a peregrina. And finally, we reach the hamlet of Fonsebadon, and Amaris and I walked to the Cruz de Ferro for a very emotional afternoon. We had dinner at a medieval restaurant, and we spent the night at La Posada del Druida. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel as we continue here on BDE Travels in our Camino de Santiago.